Hi friends, welcome back to our channel. Sales is always fun. Well, in this episode, we'll be talking about key account management. Fine, how many of us have heard of the Pareto principle? Or let me put it in simpler terms, how many of you heard of the 80-20 principle? Well, that's interesting. So when Pareto actually did a study in Italy and he came out with a theory that 80% of Italy's wealth is with 20% of the population. The enterprise corporates found that this to be more or less true even for them, because what they found is that this 20% of customers were giving them close to 80% of business. So this is exactly what Pareto said is doing for them. And these 20% of the customers were, of course, where competition is also playing very strong, because they were high volume, high value customers. So to protect the organization interest, because on this 20% of the customers, the organization was willing to put the money, resource and energy, and hence created the key account managers. Key account managers are a dedicated source who handle these key accounts. What they do is they are basically into one point of contact as far as the customer is concerned. He holds the end-to-end responsibility for the customer. And key account managers is a prestigious post among the salespeople. Now, depending on the kind of industry you are in, you may have different kinds of key accounts. Well, some of us, the first mostly is the government. It could be government as a whole or a specific department. Could be the railways, could be the postal, depending on the product and service that you offer. You could have account managers who are specific to the industry. Maybe you can have a specialist who looks after the insurance industry. You can have a specialist who talks to the telecom industry. So the advantage is, he will know the industry well, he will know the needs of the industry well, and he becomes a specialist for the industry. Next could be the large national accounts that are spread globally, nationally, where most of the decisions are made where you are. So these accounts could either be handled by one person who travels nationally managing the relationship, or of course locally the relationship is managed by your branch there and things are reported back to the account manager here. Then of course you have the global accounts, large accounts like Oracle, HPs of the world. So where the decision is made in your place and you go, mostly it is a rate contract that worked out, and that price is fixed across the globe. And then of course you have local enterprises, which is the large companies which are based locally. And then you also have something called as a strategic accounts, where you see, okay, these accounts could be my large account in the future. Generally what happens is the organization takes a call from time to time whether there is an ROI in spending money with the customer, and then they keep moving out. They probably, from the strategic, they probably upgrade those customers. Some who are in the account management team comes down as strategic accounts. So this happens regularly because when the organization is putting in its energy, effort and resource, it needs to get its ROI. Well, the role or the process of managing key account is called as key account management. The key account management is to ensure that you maintain contacts, relationship with different levels in the organization, and also ensure that your management team is also having relationship at different levels with the customer place. The key account management process also involves penetrating deep into the account, building up business, and ensuring that competition stays away. So this is in short what key account management is all about. Now the question will be asked, how different are these people, the key account managers, from the regular sales people? Well, they need to have all the characteristics of a salespeople for the salesperson. In addition, they also need to have certain extra characters. Now to give a simple difference, some of the difference between a salesperson and a key account manager is A salesperson is just focused on a sale and he is happy with it and he comes out. The key account manager is not just related to subject himself to sale, but he looks at the long-term perspective with the customer. A sales person, professional could probably have his quota could be daily, weekly, monthly. But for a key account manager, it is generally quarterly or annually. A key account manager would probably bring a very few orders in a year, but those orders could be of such high value and volume. In key account management, you also need to have a lot of patience, because you are not going to get result in a day or two. It is going to take months, sometimes even years, for the whole process to happen. That again depends how long your sales cycle is going to be. Okay, some of the other characteristics of a key account manager is: one, he needs to have a in length and depth understanding of the customer. He needs to know things like who's the customer's customer. He has to be good in reading the financial report of the customers, because a salesperson doesn't have to know the financial, read a balance sheet, but a key account manager has to read the balance sheet. He has to know where the customer is going to go. So which means that he knows where he can get his next business coming from. He needs to map the customer in full and build relationship at various levels. Actually, a key account manager will know more people in the account than an average employee in the account. So that's the length and depth he gets into. As I said earlier, he has to penetrate deep into the account. The next quality is he needs to have a leadership quality, because he needs to, one, being a single point of contact, he has to manage the customer at various levels in the customer place, and also internally within his own organization, within his own colleagues, he must be able to manage things. Maybe with the service team, maybe with the finance team, maybe with the engineering, the pre-sales, depending on the industry and the kind of people who interact with the customer regularly. So he needs to take them along, ensure the relationship at all levels is smooth and the understanding is good. A key account manager is more into a kind of consultative selling, because he involves various people in the sales, and the way he does sold, he actually sells a value to the customer, and the customer is happy to take the product or service to ensure that their problem or their issue is solved. So it is a good kind of a consultative selling, where all the stakeholders are in place, are in sync, and they know what is coming in as an account for them. A key account manager, in terms of relationship, it is his duty to ensure that the management team is regularly visiting his account at various levels. Not only the management team, also people from his organization at various levels are regularly in touch with the customer, because like I said before, it is a consultative selling that happens. So the relationship, the bonding is very strong between the two organizations. And when the bonding becomes strong, naturally the business happens by itself. In fact, there are cases where the customer and the vendor, in fact, they share some of the best practices with each other, helping both of them. And this is actually done if the key account manager has got his relationships across the place. He has to, on a regular basis, look into his short-term goals with the account, his long-term goals with the account, and he has to also do a SWOT analysis regularly on the relationship with the account and also the account per se itself. Whether the account is going to grow, where is the growth coming, what is going to happen. And also when it comes to relationship, where all is the relationship, which part of the purchase is missing, because as I told you, it's a consultative sale that happens. Even then, there would be the gatekeepers who would be trying to probably block you, and the influencers. You need to be very clear as to how good your relationship with both these people are in the organization, because influencers are people who within the organization study about the products or services which the organization require, which you would be offering. You could be studying all, in fact you and your competitors also. So it is necessary that you have relationship with the influencer, not just you, but also with your pre-sales team and others with him, so that he has got a clear picture as what your offering is. The gatekeeper similarly is a very important person in any account management because he may block you. So you will have to work with your relationship with others to take the gatekeeper along with you. So this is an essential part of key account management. Like I said earlier, key account management process takes time and the account manager has to have the patience and also the management, because key accounts will take time to nurture, and once they nurture, yes, they'll keep giving you a lot of the result is going to be just fun. It will be too much of business to handle. Well, to sum it up, I'll say a key account manager should know the following about the accounts. So he has to know the different divisions, the different wings of the organization. Because if he knows that, he would also know which wing, which division is going to grow, so that he can also go spend his time, money there. Some of the other things he needs to know is he has to clearly know what is his market share with the customer, which means that the customer is buying from your competitors. You got to know how much is buying from competitors, how much is he buying from you. You also got to know what percentage is your mind share, because if he's going of his overall expenditure, how much what is your kitty in it? Well, this will tell you what is the kind of mind share you're going to have with the customer. Also, in addition, you need to know who all are the stakeholders, what is the customer's growth plan, what are the new things he's going to add, which divisions is he going to grow. Again, as I told before, you got to be very clear what is the growth plan of the customer. And some of the other things that you need to also know is how is your product or solution that you offer is actually impacting your customer, is actually helping him improve, or how is it helping him? That's something that you need to be very, very clear about. If you are industry specific, you should be able to speak the language of the customer's industry. Now, what do I mean by that is, for example, you are handling telecom as an industry. When you handle telecom as an industry, you got to use a word like ARPU, ARPU, average revenue per user. When you tell him, for example, when you tell him, sir, this will help you, what I offer you will help you get your money back fast, or it will increase the average revenue per user higher. These are things which the customer understands and will look at it seriously. So you need to speak the language of the customer, which is very helpful as a CAM. Well, in the next episode, we will talk of certain sales techniques. We will get into some of the sales techniques. We will talk about them in length. So if you need to be notified when the new video is uploaded, please subscribe and press the bell button so that you will get the notification once the video is uploaded. Thank you. Happy selling till we meet again. Bye.